You are tuned in to a Fireside chat with Zany Mystic. Join us now on another exciting metaphysical journey. Relax, tune in, drop out, and take a seat by the fire as we explore new realms and possibilities. This is Magenta Pixie. You can find me at magentapixie.weebly.com. But now, here is Zany Mystic and guest. Enjoy the show.
Greetings, and welcome to a Fireside Chat with Zany Mystic. I'm your host, Lance White. Today, we have a returning friend and guest, Enelia Benz, who's joining us from Mexico. She's in Cancun, so we're very fortunate to be able to get a good line through to her today. For those who don't know, in January of 2010, Enelia received a request from Source to go public. And so the first thing she did was to establish an information source at www.ascension101.com. Thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or more, have been deeply moved and triggered by the paradigm-shifting video first released through Project Avalon, which quickly became an internet sensation. Since she has continued to work behind the scenes, doing meet and greets with groups of people, traveling to do seminars, and with other light workers and public figures to raise the vibration of the planet. She's also in the process of establishing a global ascension center, and the first of these centers, which are envisioned kind of like a hub, they'll be located in many different places, will be in the Sacramento, Northern California area. So she has a unique perspective, having entered our density directly outside the usual incarnational processes, to assist in the raising of the collective vibration, and I think she's doing a great job of it. So let's welcome Enelia to the show now. Hi, Enelia, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing very well, thank you.
Oh, good. Well, it's always fun to talk to you. It's more fun to see you, but, I don't have SIA vision on my computer, so...
Right.
So I'll just have to picture you there in your room there in Cancun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool down here. The energy is quite different to the United States at the moment.
Oh, well, tell me about it.
Yeah, especially being in the coast, it's much cleaner, much less dense. Just coming out of California, I realized there's a huge bombardment down there, or up there, I should say, that's quite heavy on anybody who's in any way sensitive. And, that's something actually that I thought we might talk about, if that's okay. There's a lot of individuals known to me who are highly sensitive individuals and very aware, very awake, enlightened people who are going through a very difficult period right now with regards to wanting to leave the planet, not necessarily them, but their physical bodies.
Yes.
And I thought we could talk about it because I know you, Lance, are going through something similar. And
yes.
You being one of those people.
Yes,
and,
I definitely am.
Yeah. And I thought it's actually quite important for us to make a distinction of whether it's the person, the soul, or whether it's the physical body. Because what I've seen up to now, it has been the physical body. When the person breaks it down and really looks at it, it's actually the physical body, which is really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because the body has an entirely different source, and it has its own agenda as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I'll call them the physical elemental body, because really the physical body is necessary for us to be a human being, but the soul continues on even after the physical body's death, right? So the soul really doesn't need a physical body to live. But the physical body, as an elemental, earth, physical expression of divine source made out of elemental elements from the planet, it really has its own intelligence, its own beingness. that's why, for example, the body can stay alive even after the soul has left by artificial means, right? When the people were put into hospitals and plugged in and stuff, they can actually keep the body, physical elemental body, alive. But of course, if the soul's gone, and the body can never reactivate or reanimate by itself again.
Right.
But it's. How about you, Lance? What is it? Do you think it's your physical body or your soul being?
Well, it feels more like the physical body. As you said, there's a density here in California, and I'm on in a high energy vortex, and so the energies that come up through California kind of coalesce in this area, but of course I can't pinpoint any particular thing, but I do know that I'm extremely sensitive to any shift in the energies. There have been a lot of chemtrails being sprayed overhead, and if nothing else, that affects my mood because my physical body starts to go into an instinctive mode and fear, even though I know by now that those things are, they're going to be there. They will pass. This is all passing, but then there's a depression that occurs also, and I seem to move in between manic depressive modes, and so there are certain periods of time when I seem to pick up a collective vibration as well, and I'm not sure if this is because, in part, there was so much pent-up energy about there being at least some sign that the old paradigms would be collapsing, or that there would be more, freedom on the, that the mainstream media would be less controlled, some information would start to come through, and of course it's just the opposite because we haven't reached the end of the line yet. And it does appear to be some kind of battle between our shadow side and our light side. And if you want to break that down, you do it much better than I do, the dark T-shirts and the white T-shirts. So, and the dark is here to serve the light. So ultimately we know this all works out, and this is just a moment in time, but it feels like there's a lot of confusion right now and a lot of intentional confusion being injected into the collective consciousness.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. If anything, it has been amplified tremendously. And the wave of disappointment of waking up, and there's still chemtrails, there are still wars, there's still media being controlled. The frustration, I think, is being manipulated and also used, that energy of frustration, and it's like, what's the point type thing, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Now, on the soul level, you asked about that. The soul, of course, is eternal and infinite. So, in theory, it can kick back and it sit back and observe and watch and the rest of it. But I think there is kind of a soul fatigue that happens with people who have been working towards light processes and doing it for so long, and it may be something that's coordinated with the body, that the soul just simply runs out of gas. And when we incarnate, supposedly, those who have come back from the other side claim that we choose the percentage of the soul energy that we want to use to incarnate. So let's say you're going to have a light experience in your incarnation, and so you take 10% of your total soul energy from the other side. Well, what if it turns out to be, you needed 20 or 30? Well, you're a little short, and so, that does happen. We do make miscalculations, and it's conceivable that we could need a little more of our soul energy, but of course, it's also conceivable that we can braid on more of our soul energy, that we can bring in more of our soul energy as it's needed. And then, of course,
I think that's the key.
What's that?
That bringing in the soul energy, because really the new dimension, the new paradigm starts within us. We become it. one of the things that I saw a lot of people were thinking that, the fifth dimension or the new paradigm was something outside of themselves, whether in time, right? Like somewhere in the future, or whether in a space, okay, the